Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
I don't believe this story, but I'm going to tell you it. Apparently, WikiLeaks documents are revealing the Apollo program was a fraud. The moon landings never happened. Never happened. Never happened. Never happened. Never happened. Never happened. According to new documents scheduled to be released this week by Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks, they could reveal damaging information about NASA's Apollo program. Assange, who has lived at Ecuador's London embassy since June of 2012 in fear of being extradited to the United States to face espionage and conspiracy charges arising from leaking thousands of secret diplomatic and military documents, claims that he has had evidence and documents given to him by a government worker that shows that the Apollo program really never set foot on the moon. The documents are said to have been handed to the WikiLeaks founder by a retired high-ranking official of NASA that has worked within the government for more than 45 years, according to Assange. Top officials, by the way, of the Chinese space program last year accused the government of the United States of faking the moon landings after the Chinese lunar rover found no evidence, they said, of the Apollo program moon landings after investigating the same area where the Apollo 11 mission landed on July 20th, 1969. This will be an interesting story. I believe, and I'm convinced that we've landed on the moon. But we shall see what happens with this.
They built their careers on this, and it would be admitting a major mistake.
Never happened.
I understand that some believe that we should attempt a return to the surface of the moon first, as previously planned. But I just have to say, pretty bluntly here, we've been there before.
Never happened.
Whoa, what is going on here?
With little kids staring wide-eyed at the Saturn V glowing in the huge xenon spotlights 15 miles away.
Never happened.
Oh, I don't know. Fucking the moon landings happened, and it's nonsense. It's like saying, was America ever discovered? Yes. Did it go to the moon? Yes. That's the end. There's no information, content, or use of anything. Well, first of all, I don't even accept that needs proving, because you've got to be a complete moron.
Always question the scientists and their foundations.
The astronauts of Apollo 11 awoke early today and began their ritual-like preparations for this blast off to the moon.
Never happened.
We're going to divert a little bit from the format of past press conferences and talk about the things that
never happened.
That is controversial because anyone in the standard cosmology community would not even entertain such a notion.
Are you really suggesting that in this program, the scientific documentary program about gravity, you're going to even mention the words, could it have been true that the moon landings were fakes?
If you were paranoid, you'd say there's a conspiracy.
They have nowhere to go. It's the moment of truth for science.
I just see it as a beginning, not just this flight, but in this program, which has really been a very short piece of human history, an instant in history.
Never happened.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. Money is a good thing.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
I'm not trying to get in the middle of anything.
Tell him to get out of here.
This is a hotel.
We'll call the police.
We pay.
Come on in here. We'll call the police.
Solicit
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
It doesn't, sir. I don't have nothing to do with this. But
Okay.
you cannot solicit on this.
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Security is going to be a very big factor with respect to space and space exploration. At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space? The Vice President will serve as the Council's the future of American space leadership. We're going to lead again. It's been a long time. It's over 25 years. Today, we're taking a crucial step to secure America's future in space by reviving the National Space Council after it has been dormant almost 25 years, if you can believe it. Today's announcement sends a clear signal to the world that we are restoring America's proud legacy of leadership in space. We're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy